this is Jill from Paper Daisy Crafting. Thank you for joining me today. Today I'm going to make this card, which is one that I showed on my blog at the weekend on a blog hop. And I'm going to make another version today, and this version it's not going to say a little note, it's going to say get well soon, because it's going to be going to my daughter, who some of you have kindly sent me messages. My daughter's not been too well recently and had to have an emergency op last week, so I'm just going to send her a little package of goodies with a card, just to cheer her up a bit. She's now home and recuperating, so thank you for all the you who have asked about that. She is feeling better now, but yeah, so this is going to go to her. I'm just hoping I've got enough colours out here. I might have to reach over and get some more colours. Actually, I think I haven't got the pink out. Let me just get the pinks. There we go. So I've got a whole range of colours here, the same colours as I used, more or less. That one's round the wrong way. But I'm going to change up the order that I do them in today. I'm just going to change which flowers I stamp. So I've got Magenta Madness and Melon Mambo, Granny Apple Green, Bermuda Bay and Coastal Cabana, Gorgeous Grape and Highland Heather, and Mango Melody and Pumpkin Pie. So those are our colours, and like I said, I'm just going to change up a little bit, change round the colours, but it's basically the same colour palette as I've used here. So I'm going to take my piece of cardstock. This is half an A4 sheet. This is Whisper White. Some of you will be aware that it's no longer possible for Stampin' Up to supply Whisper White. The mill that made it went out of business all of a sudden, didn't give them any notice because of the pandemic, unfortunately, I think. And so there is now a replacement. It's called Basic White, which actually fits with all our basic black and basic grey and things. And apparently it's a very, very good substitute for Whisper White. It's still just as smooth, which is the important thing, and still a very nice white. So don't worry about that. If you're wanting Whisper White, I don't think all the products are in yet quite, but there is cardstock and envelopes. I know, I saw that. So you will be able to get cardstock and envelopes. May not be the note cards at the minute. I think they were missing from the list. So anyway, right, I'm going to score this in half. So it's half an A4 sheet. So it measures, in fact, it measures 15 today. So half an A4 sheet would actually be 14.8. But this one, I've just made it slightly bigger. It was a bit of leftover card that I had, this one. Right, and then I'm going to burnish that, get out my bone folder and burnish that. It's a very simple little card, this, just simple stamping really. So no layers of cardstock or anything like that, no die cutting, no punching, just some stamps and some ink and a piece of Whisper White. Right, okay, so I'm going to start with this big image in the middle here, and today I'm going to do that in Highland Heather. It's going to have purple in the middle. So I did use purple here, but I'm using Highland Heather in the middle. So it's going to be, like I said, it's going to be the same colour palette. It's just going to be moved around a bit. So roughly it needs to be down towards the bottom of the card and towards the left-hand side. I'm not measuring or anything. I'm just going to stamp my images as and when I think. So that's it for the Highland Heather. I am then going to stamp these three flowers in Coastal Cabana. So I used Coastal Cabana on these little flowers before, but I'm using it on these, the next size up ones. So I put 3 on the other card. So let's see if I can position. So your arrangement might change as you stamp, because you might see that you've got more gaps or a gap somewhere that you want to fill. Doesn't have to be precise. That's what's wonderful about this card. You can just keep filling with your flower images until you're happy with the arrangement. So there's my Coastal Cabana. And then these little flowers, which is this one here. And if any of you were watching my video the other day, you'll know that I couldn't quite get it lined up with the outline one. And now I've managed, can you see that I've marked, just move that out of the way, I've marked the top of each with a dot, so I know which way round to have them, to layer them. So I have managed to do that now. So if any of you are watching and worrying about the fact that I couldn't line them up. Right, what colour should we use now? Let's use Mango Melody. Oh no, we'll use pink, I think. We'll do Magenta Madness. Have a bit of pink in here. really doesn't matter, though, you know, I'm deciding as I go, but your colour palette is completely up to you. So do whatever colours you think would go nicely. And just a scattering of these flowers, these little ones. It's a lovely stamp, this little stamp here. Just going to do one more up there. There we go. And then we just need our 2 flower, I don't know, sort of berries. Are these berries, do you think? So we've got a stamp with the 6 berries on, and then a stamp with the stems, but there's gaps in the stems so that the berries will fit between. So I'm going to take the Granny Apple Green, and I might try, I don't know, I'm going to do the stems first. I was going to change it round and see what it's like doing the berries first, but I will stick to what I was doing. I'm going to do this up here. There we go. And then another one up here, like that. And then I'm going to stamp them. So I actually don't think I'm going to need the pumpkin pie. I did get pumpkin pie out, but that's a colour I'm not going to need. And then I'm going to come in with the berries. And this is where you need to get right over your cardstock so that you can see where you're stamping, so that it lines up with the stems. Oh, nice. I think this needs re-inking, my Magenta Madness. I must remember to do that. Not Magenta Madness, Mango Melody. I must remember to do that. Every time I use it, I keep thinking, it needs re-inking. You can see it's very light in some places. Right, there's space for another little flower down there, so I'm just going to come in and fill that space in. Like I say, your arrangement of flowers may change as you stamp, and if you've got any spaces to fill. So there we go. And then all that we need to do, we need to add a sentiment, but first we need to add the centres of all these flowers. So in these 4 flowers, I've used this big middle one. Let me put it on there. Can you see it better on there? I don't know if you can see that. It actually, I don't really like this very much. It reminds me of the coronavirus. Jez always said that one of the stamps in the Poppy Stamps set reminded her, and this definitely does. Can you see? It just looks like all the images that are around of the coronavirus. But it's a centre of a flower, so we're not going to let that put us off. So we're going to first of all use Gorgeous Grape in the middle of the big one. Like so. And then we're going to have to clean that off with our Simply Chamois. My very, very mucky Simply Chamois, but still does a perfect job at cleaning my stamps off. And then we're going to stamp in the middle with Bermuda Bay. So I'm using toning colours for these centres. You could go contrasting. I did on that card in the centre of these little flowers. I used Misty Moonlight. I didn't really like them very much though. After I'd done it, it wasn't my favourite. So I think I'd avoid doing that again. So this is Bermuda Bay going on the Coastal Cabana, and then it's just a toning colour on that flower. I'm still making cards with just these stamps, and I really must break out the dies soon because it's got a fantastic set of dies with it as well, this set, but I haven't needed to use them yet. And then just this little centre, this little 6-dotted centre in the Magenta Madness, and I'm going to do that with Melon Mambo, which should stand out enough, so it's not as much of a contrast as I did on the last card. The only problem with using these pink inks is they will stain your stamps. So you can see the ones that I've used Magenta Madness on before, or Melon Mambo, they are stained. It doesn't affect their use at all. That just makes them pink rather than clear. Right, and we're just doing there. And that's all the colour stamping we needed to do. And then lastly, this is a stamp from this set. I love this set. These flowers are very similar to this little one that we've been using. But the reason I bought this set was because I loved all these greetings and I have used them a lot. So we're using Get Well Soon today. So I'm just going to ink that up in Memento. And stamp it not too near the top. Sorry if my head's in the way, I just want to make sure I get that straight. There we go, Get Well Soon. And there we have it. So it's very different, the effects you can get. You can see, if I bring the other one in, I think because my main image was really bright, this one's got a much more subdued look to it, I think, but fairly similar even so. Just a really nice simple layout and really nice. And you could use coordinating colours, so you could do it in blues or pinks, all the same tones of colours. Just really nice. So I hope you like my card today. And if you want to buy anything, it's all available in my Stampin' Up shop and the link is below. Please press subscribe if you haven't subscribed to me before so you don't miss any of my videos. That would be lovely. I'm nearly at 5,000 subscribers. I'm heading towards 5,000, so I'm really trying to get there, which would be great. But I think that's all from me today. I hope you have a lovely time today and I will see you all again very, very soon. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.